was a nice place for meetings, and this place is considered to be a place of multiplication of the loaves. If Jesus preached a lot on this hill, probably not on the top of the hill, but on the slopes of the hill, the place of multiplication of the loaves is is just beneath down this hill. So it's very real that they were going there for rest, and there Jesus made his miracle of multiplication of the loaves. And during first centuries they were so in the first centuries of Christian era, there was a Judeo-Christian synagogue again, and in the 4th century there was in time of Emperor Constantine, there was a big Christian church built there by one of the converted Jews from Tiberias. His name was Joseph. He built there a church, and after a basilica was built. So there was a basilica, a classical late antique basilica that was ruined during the Persian invasion. Father Ilya told us yesterday that there are several dates, we can say destructive dates, of the Christian presence in the land in the Holy Land, and the first of them is 614. So they the Persian invasion. So that basilica probably was ruined during Persian invasion or during the earthquake of the 8th century. So this place was in ruins for centuries, and later, in our times already, in the beginning of 20th century, that place was bought by a German, by the Germans, by German Catholics, and there is now a German Benedictine monastery, a very interesting one. They have a big monastery in Zion hill, on the Mount Zion in Jerusalem. And here is a kind of independence of that monastery here in Galilee. So there is German community, and they decided to restore that Byzantine church, and they did it in 1970s with all German punctuality, and they did it really very good. And it seems that the church looks like it was in Byzantine times. From the old Byzantine church, we have only mosaics on the floor, and they're very interesting. There are some well-known mosaics, especially with the loaves and fishes, because it was the place of multiplication of them. So you know some of that mosaics. So we'll see it. But the church itself, not the floor, but the church was rebuilt in our days, and it's not bad at all. So we'll visit it, and after we'll move to Capernaum. And we'll visit Capernaum, and after that we'll start thinking about lunch with the fish, or swimming in the lake, or both of them. Because those who would not like to have a lunch, they'll have time for swimming, but those who wish to have lunch, at the same time they need to swim after to keep an ascetic form. So we'll think about it. They were found only in the middle of the 19th century by one British archaeologist who was working here for a short time. And after that place was bought in the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th by Franciscan order, by the Catholic mission. And Franciscans, they really did a lot for archaeology and for studying of the land of Israel. And Father Basil already spoke with Father Basil about it. There is a very good Catholic Franciscan bookstore in Jerusalem with a lot of books on archaeology and on history of the land of Israel, that were books that were published by the Franciscan scholars, first of all, during 20th century. So it's really interesting, and those of you who are interested in the history of the land of Israel and archaeology and so on, you're welcome to visit the bookstore in Jerusalem near Jaffa Heights. So it is one of the Franciscan monasteries with excavations, of course. So we'll visit it. There are two most important places here. So the ruins, the remnants of the house of Peter and Judeo-Christian synagogue that was built on this place. And another one, a Capernaum synagogue that was a kind of a parish church for Jesus and the apostles. So it's really an important place, and we'll visit them, and after we'll move to the Orthodox monastery nearby.
That's bad. Okay. Жанна, мы все группы.
Where did they go?
Nahum, Naumovka, деревня Nauma in Russian. We don't know who was that Nahum. Probably it was a prophet, but probably it was just one of the founders of this village. And it seems that in time of Jesus it was not a village, it was really a city, because here we in the Gospel read about Roman troops that were standing here, because there was a centurion, yeah, from Capernaum. So centurion is the head of an officer, Roman officer, head of 100 soldiers. So there was a garnison. Harrison. All the words I ask Father about exactly the same in Russian. So there was a Roman garrison, about 100 soldiers, and also here was tamorzhnya.
Customs.
There was customs in the city, so it means that it was not just a small city of fishermen. Of course, they were fishermen, and most of the apostles were fishermen, because it is really on the sea, on the seashore. But it was a rather important city from the point of view of commerce, because the ways were going through Capernaum from Judea, from Jerusalem to Syria. So it was a kind of a crossroad of different commercial ways. That's why it was not just a village. And this city was named in the Gospel the city of Jesus. So when we're speaking about home of Jesus, it was during his ministry, not in Bethlehem where he was born, and he never visited Bethlehem after. It was not Nazareth where Jesus lived till the age of 30, but it was, for 3 years it was Capernaum, and Jesus and his disciples, they returned to Capernaum after their missionary journeys. We don't know if there was a house of Jesus, but we know that here was house of Peter, and so we'll move to it now. That's why when Italian architect Antonio Barluzzi was building his church on the top of the mountain of Beatitudes, he built there also octagonal church, probably following the tradition of making church of such a type here in Galilee. So it is the place where Jesus was many times. Many miracles were made in this place, in this house.
Петра, где в 3-4 веке на месте его дома была построена церковь. Церковь такого октагональной формы, восьмигранник, как полнота, да, 7 дней творения, 8-й день — это день вечности, да, день воскресения. И все эти камни, они оригинальные, значит, с той эпохи, то есть фундамент здания дома апостола Петра. То есть все деревни на берегу были в основном базальтовые, каменные, потому что само озеро возникло в кратере вулкана и очень много базальта. В общем-то, города были довольно темные, но солнечная погода, солнечные дни, поэтому ничего сказать. Да, вот это черное такое было, да-да-да. То есть впечатление, что это как горелые камни обгоревшие, но это не обгоревший, это черный базальт, да? Тут вообще очень много такого камня в этой местности, не конкретно в этой, во всем регионе. Вот. Ну так, значит, так или иначе. Вот сюда люди с самого начала приходили молиться апостолу. Некоторые мозаики из этого храма, они сохранились. И когда у вас будет свободное время, вы пройдите к озеру, и там возле озера небольшая выставочка сделана мозаик вот из этого храма. Вообще церковных комплексов, наверное, было несколько.
So they were able to build another synagogue of imported stone, but on the same place. So the foundation of the synagogue is from the black stone, so exactly that was visited by Jesus and his disciples. Let's go there.
Священное Писание, Тора, которое читалось, оно не уничтожалось. И свитки, которые выходили из употребления, их хоронили в земле. И возле этой синагоги было обнаружено небольшое кладбище вот этих вот свертков. Но они же, конечно, в никаком состоянии, вполне очевидно. Но тем не менее, что возможно вполне, что когда вы говорите, что Христос пришел в синагогу в Capernaum и развернул и читал, что-то из этого, что-то из этого найдено прикасается. Вот. Ну, то есть, фактически, что, когда мы говорим, что вот оно есть, вот оно и есть. Вот эти земля, то есть, вот он свои вот ступенечки какие-то, может, в гости кому-то заходить по этим ступенькам. Ну, сказать точно невозможно, но
здесь вот
этот вот городок, и сказано, что Капернаум это был его город, да, то есть он приходил и здесь жил.
Вот номера домов есть. Конечно.
What did he say?
Yes, that is the house where he healed.
It is? Really?
What?
That's the house
Where Jesus healed the mother-in-law of Peter. Right there. The one over there, right? Underneath the church, maybe?
Protestants, so you have hordes and hordes of people. So why won't we do the following? We'll follow Father Alexander very closely for his presentation, and then we'll give you maybe 20 minutes to go around and take picture of every stone possible, and then we'll meet
Every second stone.
and then we'll meet as a group by the entrance. I didn't say by the exit. Exit means on the other side. I mean, entrance means on this side of the archaeological park. Remember where we entered? There was a little booth?
Yeah.
We'll meet...
The statue of St. Peter.
Yes. So we'll meet right there as a group, okay? So we're not dismissing you yet. I just said that Father will finish with his presentations and we'll give you time.
I'll do it quickly.
Fine. Be that way.
Okay, here we can see the building. And it's written here the late 4th century white synagogue. So a synagogue that was built after Jesus, but built upon the remains of the synagogue of Jesus. So it seems that the foundation of the synagogue, built from black stones, it is a synagogue of time of Jesus. What is in general, what is a synagogue? So what is the difference in biblical times between the Temple of Jerusalem and the synagogue?
No sacrifice.
What did people do in the Jerusalem temple, and what did they do in a synagogue?
Sacrifice in the temple.
Exactly. So at the temple, it was not a temple, it was the temple, the only temple dedicated to the only God. It was a place of sacrifice. So according to the biblical law, the pious Jews had to come several times a year for sacrifices. So they came to the temple not to pray, but for sacrifices. But of course they had to read the Bible and to pray not only several times a year, but every Saturday at least. That's why in every city there was a place of gathering. So synagogue in Greek, it is a place of gathering, meeting place. So it could be just a simple room, it could be a beautiful building. So it was a house of prayer. we can say that in our days, the difference between the Jerusalem temple and the synagogue is as a difference between Orthodox Church and the Protestant house of prayer. So it's a place, one is the place, Orthodox Catholic is a place for the таинства совершаются.
Mystery.
Yes, and the Protestant place of prayer, it's place of prayer, it's a synagogue, in a good sense. So it was one of the synagogues of the time. We can enter it, we can see how it looked like. So it is really the place that had the voice of Jesus. Not probably these white stones, but the place itself, but the black ones. So we can look at this place and we'll meet Father Ilya in 20 minutes, yeah?
10 till.
What time it will be?
Right now, 11:25.
10 minutes, yes, 10 minutes to 12.
Yeah,
Right? Near the exit.
Entrance.
Entrance.
First of all, what to see here? Well, since I'll take 10 minutes of your time, let's meet at an even hour. Okay? So let's meet exactly at noon. Okay? Exactly at noon. So first of all, what is there to see? What is there to see? Synagogue. First and foremost. Can you hear me?
Closer to your mouth.
Yes, the synagogue. The synagogue. You can go right through. There is not too much inside, but to give you a very good understanding, it's built on the foundation of the synagogue where Jesus was. This information is not verified, but to the best of my understanding, several years ago there were excavations, and they did find a number of scrolls buried by the side of the synagogue. I don't know what the particular tradition is about the use of the scrolls, but as it was explained to me, that scrolls that are out of use are holy and they could not be desecrated or destroyed, but at the same time they couldn't be reused again. And by the synagogue, by certain synagogues, there were sort of like a cemeteries for the scrolls, and a number of the scrolls were recovered. And it is probable that some of the scrolls weren't used in the synagogue where Jesus came here at the Capernaum. You can see the foundation of the synagogue in black basalt, and the white synagogue was built at the end of the 4th century already on top of it. Also, you can see the ruins of the ancient Capernaum in several spots behind the synagogue, between the synagogue and the church. On my right-hand side, there are some columns recovered, there are some millstones, there are some olive presses, all in very good state of preservation. And when you'll do this little semicircle, I invite you also to go to the shore, because it's a very beautiful view, but also there is a little exhibit of the mosaics from the churches that were here different times. They from Byzantine times, so probably early ones are as early as the end of the 4th century, and late one is 5th or 6th. And take pictures and breathe the...
Гоша на свободе в синагоге.
Skin and eyes.
The center door.
Pointing to the place usually we say to Jerusalem,
What? A Protestant Irishman?
I never heard of that until about
There's lots of them.
No, I say I was in college, but I never heard of such an animal.
Okay, Londonderry. You know Londonderry, Ireland?
I mean, now I know this.
That's Protestant. But Dublin is, well, the real Irish is Dublin. You know something? The real Irishman's got red hair. And you see these black Irish coming back here?
think this is a very funny joke, but nobody laughs. So I'm going to try it one more time. I took a picture of the printing there that was on that pillar. That was written in the time of the Great Famine. Great Famine of Valley.
So here's
One backwards to make it. My car's a little pretty
Oh, you're filming? I didn't know that. You always leave, I like it. Yep. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. I'll open the back door. Now it's open.
Chop-chop.
Chop-chop. Chop-chop. Chop-chop.
For lunch. That's why now we're moving to the small restaurant that was reserved by our driver. So it is a fish restaurant, but there are also be on the seashore. That's why we'll come there and we'll decide what time we are leaving. So those who don't want to have lunch, those who don't follow the best French traditions, you'll have a lot of time for swimming. I think it will be 1.5 hours probably. Father will decide now. And others